Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Racing Experts Driver Spotlight. My name is Demario Chambers. With us today, we have Chris Eggleston, who is currently racing in the NASCAR K&N Pro Series West, where he is the defending champion, and he's looking like he's going to make another championship run this year again. Hey, Chris, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I can't complain, actually. So tell me how a kid from Erie, Colorado gets into NASCAR. How?
Yeah, so, it's Colorado's kind of a tough geographical location to be coming from to get into the world of NASCAR. Although a lot of people don't see Colorado on the map as being a real competitive racing state, I feel like we've got a lot of great drivers that have come out of Colorado, such as Rick Corelli and just everything the Furniture Row guys are doing and whatnot. So, in a nutshell, my racing career began when I was 5 years old. I began in quarter midgets and quickly moved up to legend cars and into super late models, and ran some Camping World truck races back in 2010 and 2011. And then fast forward to 2014, I got in touch and met with Bill McAnally out of Sacramento, California, and he gave me a one-off deal opportunity to race one of his NASCAR K&N Pro Series cars when the series comes to Colorado once a year. And the cool thing is, when they did that, we were able to jump in and behind the wheel of his number 99 Napa Filters Toyota, and we just happened to put it in victory lane that night. First time him and I had ever hooked up, and it was really cool and a special night. And he had a lot of Napa employees there, Napa customers there, and Paul Cortman, head of Napa Filters, was there, and it just it blossomed into a really cool relationship leading into the 2015 season last year. And when we did that, we were able to bang off a couple wins early in the season, keep our head on straight, and stay really consistent, finish first and foremost every lap and led a lot of laps. And lo and behold, at the end of the season, we were able to come out with a big championship, K&N West Championship. So really cool for me, my family, here out of Colorado, and really special for Bill and that whole team and organization for giving me the opportunity to drive for them. It's a really humbling time at the end of last year when we were able to do that, and it's really cool that he brought me on board this year in 2016 to let me come drive for him. And we're 4 races in, and we just won our first race of the year over at Orange Show Speedway, which was really cool. And the series is coming back to Colorado here in a couple weeks, and we're really looking forward to getting back in our home roots and hopefully come out with our second win as well.
All right, so you touched on it where back in 2010, 2011, you ran with a SS Greenlight Racing team. How did that deal come about?
So I got in touch with Bobby Dotter, owner of SS Greenlight Racing, through a mutual friend, and we were supposed to do a couple one-off truck races in preparation to go hopefully run in the NASCAR Xfinity Series with some financial backing and sponsors that we had lined up. And some of that kind of fell through, and we ended up sticking with Bobby for a few races. The first race ever that we went and raced for him was at Martinsville Speedway, and after getting spun out before we even completed a lap, really, went a lap down to Kevin Harvick and was able to rally back and come back, get our lap back and finish 11th, just shy out of the top 10, which was really cool for our first race. And so Bobby and I and my family, we kind of worked on some stuff, and which allowed myself to race in the truck series a few more races, and had a few good runs going, maybe a few mishaps on pit road that cost us a couple finishes that probably didn't show the speed that we had. But it was a really cool and humbling experience to race in the Camping World Truck Series, and hopefully, winning last year's championship in the K&N Series, and hopefully pursuing the same thing this year. Hopefully it'll allow me to jump back in the Truck Series or even the Xfinity Series in the next year or two.
So are you in contact with any other Camping World Truck Series teams or Xfinity Racing teams that are looking at you right now?
I guess right now, no, not really. Racing has evolved and changed so much. Whether it's for the better or the worse, times have changed, and it's so hard to get somebody to scout good drivers and good talent. It's just so hard to do for drivers that don't really have a great financial backing or sponsorship backing. And And that was the only reason I'm lucky enough to be racing today, especially for a great team such as Bill McAnally Racing, having the great and loyal support of, Napa Filters. It's their 50th anniversary as a Napa branded product. It's really cool to have them on board this year, and as well as Napa Auto Parts. Bill McAnally and Napa Auto Parts just celebrated 25 years together last year, and just takes so many great people like that to make something come together. And so right now that's kind of all we got going. And like I said, hopefully we can win some more races and try to win our second consecutive championship, and hopefully get somebody to look at us. But until then, we'll just keep plugging away, keep doing what we're doing, and hopefully win more races this year.
All right, one of the drivers that we're going to feature here pretty soon is actually your teammate, Todd Gilliland. His dad is a pretty big name around the sport. How does it feel racing around a guy like that week in and week out?
Yeah, Todd brings a lot of great aspects to the Bill McAnally Racing stable. I feel like, not only just having his dad, David, there, and the great people that David brought on board to the 16 camp, we're able to learn from all of them. Todd, being only 15 years old, he's a very humble kid who has a lot of talent, and I look for a lot of great things to come about him in the near future. It's really fun racing with him and kind of debriefing after certain practice sessions and races, and kind of learning what he picked up on and maybe what we learned and picked up on with our 99 team, or 50 team, I should say, this year. And it's really cool to work with somebody like that who really gets and understands what he's looking for in his race car. And it's really showed. He's been really successful throughout the year. And, hopefully him and I and our other teammates, Riley Herbst and Julia Landauer, hopefully we can continue to provide Bill McAnally some more wins this year and duke it out for the championship.
So in the West Series, who do you think is your biggest competition on the racetrack?
Todd has definitely put up some pretty good and dominating performances early in the year. Ryan Partridge, who sits second in the series, he's led a lot of laps this year. He's been up front week in and week out. And so those two are, right now they're the ones standing in our way of us earning our second championship per se. But you can't count the JPR boys out. Noah Gragston and Grayson Raz, they seem to have speed week in and week out every time they come to the racetrack. Cole Rouse, Ryan Partridge's teammate, Riley Herbst, our other teammate, Julia, we got a great group of drivers in the K&N West Series this year, and it's produced a lot of tight, great racing. So just looking forward to see what else the season holds, and in the future, we're coming up on a couple of road courses here. I think that'll be, a good obstacle for a lot of drivers, including myself, with a very little road course background. And so we'll try to overcome some of those obstacles and just produce the best finishes we can.
So you touched on road racing a little bit. I know that you don't have a lot of experience on the road courses, but following the Colorado National Speedway, they're heading up to Sonoma along with the Sprint Cup guys. What do you think your chances are of producing a pretty good enough finish to keep you in the championship run when you head up to Sonoma?
Yeah, I feel very optimistic. Last year was definitely a learning experience, my first road course race ever. I thought we kept our nose clean and had a decent run going. I think we got caught up in a small mishap late in the going that cost us quite a few spots there late in the race. But I feel like I learned a lot from going to Sonoma last year that I can hopefully adopt and carry over to this year's road course race. And then again, when we go to Miller Motorsports Park in September, I got a great group of core guys behind me that I know will prepare a fast race car. And so just really looking forward to going there. There's going to be a lot of guys that haven't been to Sonoma, or if they have, they're in the same boat that I am, very little road course background and experience. So hopefully we can play that to our advantage and hopefully produce a really good finish and run up front all day.
Okay, so with the remaining races that you have on your schedule, which one do you think provides you the best opportunity to get a victory here?
Yeah, besides going to Colorado here in a couple of weeks, really looking forward to that race. It just seems like I know the characteristics of that racetrack and how it wears over the long haul and the run, and so how the groove widens out or doesn't widen out. So I think that plays to an advantage to us for a little bit, and especially since we've run well there the last 2 times the K&N Series has been there. Other than that, I'm really looking forward to going back to Evergreen. That's a place that I thought a lot of fun to race at, and we had some decent speed there last year we went there, and so I'm really looking forward to getting back to there, and also looking forward to going to Iowa. Iowa is definitely not a place we've had great finishes, but it's a place I love to go race at, and being that Brandon's old crew chief from last year, Ty Joyner, is my crew chief this year, we definitely know he's got a setup to get around that place, and really looking forward to utilizing that and hopefully run up front in victory lane in Iowa as well.
All right, so that's all the questions that I have for you. So the microphone is all yours for those that you want to give a shout-out to sponsors. Go right ahead.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, racing is such a humbling sport. It takes so many great people to align themselves together to allow people like me the opportunity to get behind the wheel of a race car, and those include, all the guys over at Napa Filters, Napa Auto Parts, Napa Batteries, Napa Belts and Hoses, Toyota, everybody over at Bill McNally Racing, H2O Fire Protection, Globe Fire Sprinkler Corporation, Lincoln Welders. There's a lot of guys that it takes to get everybody together and create such a winning and championship caliber team. And it was so cool to be a part of that last year, and hopefully we can continue on that success this year and go after that second championship.
Alrighty, well, thank you so much for joining us on the RacingExperts.com Driver Spotlight, and best of luck to you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Alrighty, thank you so much. And guys, that'll do it for us. Thank you so much for tuning in. I want to give a big shout out to those guys that actually do the writing here on the RacingExperts.com. I'm just a radio guy. But thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.